dear guests, dear attendees, good morning, welcome. Third Ibrahim Arabic Forum, which was Ruda Meeting Networker sponsored and organized, and, and local and international organizers sponsoring. With the getting near the 2025 Iraqi election, all the eyes are on the election and the election law and how to amend those election law and how the Iraqi parties getting ready. Uh, 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 and Muqtada Sadr called on his supporters to renew election card. We know election process is a complicated and difficult issue in Iraq. With that, we have to look at the real situation in Iraqi political process with my guests to discuss this issue. Mustafa Saraj, the Al-Bayan Research Center. My colleague introduced the guest. So to take not to take a lot of time, Mr. Saraj, I'll start with the Raed Fahmi. We know you have a lot of years of struggle for the left, but so far this policy is limited and as you know, what's your leftist, what the leftist position for the future uh, and, and for Iraq process and with the election getting him, are the leftists Iraq are getting ready for the elections or making plans? If will you form alliance with the other left sides, left wing sides? There's rumors that Iraqi PM will form the left. Now I will talk about the future election, the needs and the preparations. But you cannot talk about elections if you expect until you understand what's the challenge facing Iraqi political process. This is and this is the vision of left-wing parties. The political struggle in Iraq has a history and it's different from other economic and social problems. This, the base of this problem, based on the political process and based on the ethnic group, and this ethnic group, and on this basis, um, and this as an outcome first as the base of the state, and that makes the state as weak state, and this and that the corruption has become integrated into the political process, and and it has caused a lot of problems. And the last 2 days we have talked about the challenges that Iraqi social society faces. And as regarding our country and the challenges faced across the region, not just Iraq, and how Iraq should have a strong state. It has to have an official establishment, should have uh, to have able to defend its borders and its interests in the region. But Iraq doesn't have those. The last election, only 20% participated. And the Iraqi institutions are weak, and along with other problems, the state cannot able to protect its citizens and its rights, and as well as defend it with all those storms around it. If we talk about election and short, if we want to go forward, we have to solve the situation and take Iraq out of all wave of crisis that's going around it, and so that can able to Iraq state become the has a parallel with the public opinion. Mm. Uh, you see a lot of people who didn't participate in the election, only 20% participated. What we should do? We should, as we have a lot of projects. Our project is a civil and democratic project. A state in our project, a state should be a civil state, should serve its people, and should and the election shouldn't be just about the change of the face. It should be it should be a change the structure of the state, a structure of the government, around the policies. If it just allowed me, we have a national alliance, civil alliance, the political talk with the political side continue. Thank you, Dr. Asr. Welcome, Doctor. If talk about Kurdish wider picture, political picture, which a complicated picture, and as we saw in the last election, and the experience of the Iraqi parliament, Kurdistan parliament coalition, unfortunately, it's a bit different in Kurdistan, and it has an effect on Iraqi parliament election in the future. Could we say this the conflict, especially in the disputed territories like Kirkuk, and the Kurdish party should have an alliance or a unified list in those territories. Do you believe the Kurdish parties be smart and move away from stubbornness, so they can have a bigger unified alliance, especially or a Sandigo system, or a system different from all other Iraqi elections? Good morning. Good morning. I'm honored to participate in in a forum that has a lot of different voices, different views, and has continued successful. Hopefully, it will have successful outcomes. Your question needs very careful responses. Let's go back regarding the Iraqi election experience. Since the Iraqi establishment of Iraqi state until 1958, until 2003, the first phase was a coalition phase, parliament system, and the parliament decided on independence struggle against the Britons. And then, after this subject, political parties were established. After 1948, a lot of parties were established, and then the constitution, and the king, and then the face of the army revolutions, who they had the only authority in the was the face of military coup, in 14 July of 1958. After all those incidents, the assassination attempt of Abdul Karim Qasim, and then we went into the phase of after 45 years of dictatorship. Iraqi people until 2000 didn't have a democratic system. Iraqi people didn't see a democratic system. After 2003, there have been a federalistic system, unified federalism and parliament system based on ethnic based and political functions. Uh, that's why when we go to into election, when we go to we go to into a new phase, as you said. The new phase is a phase might have a lot of impact on the broader region in the next few months. We don't know what will happen, how this will happen, and the relationship and the nature of the conflict and relations between neighboring countries with the new U.S. administration, with the new Syria, how it will be. These are all the factors that being taken and the situation inside Iraq, and this is important. And the Kurdish issue, Kurd, well, Kurds participate in the election is to stress the importance of the relationship that it has with Baghdad. Those relations has seen a lot of waves of up and downs, sometimes been good, sometimes been bad. Just a simple question. With the relationship with this Baghdad, is there a new strategy of Kurds to work with the Shia, Sunnis or Arabs to have an alliance? And if you note, there's a note that there's more efforts for Kurds to have a stronger position in Baghdad. First, to have a stronger relations with Baghdad, to become a central player in the forming the next government, and we cannot forget that the other subject like the disputed church issue still has a big issue. It's a big issue. I have a question. This question has not been solved yet. The budget issue, those issues will continue. That's why the two main Kurdish parties, KDP and PUK, always continue, all in the election, focus on to have a strong position in Baghdad. But regarding the cases or the participations, I predict across Iraq will increase compared to the other elections, and the factors behind the Sadr movement decision to come back into Iraqi political process. Maybe next 2 months he will decide. So after he decided to come back and then withdrew, the withdrew of the political participation in central and southern Iraq will increase. Regarding the Sunnis, I think there's another issue. It's an issue. There's a clear indication that the Prime Minister wants to participate in it, and I want to focus the Sunnis. There's a clear indication they want to have a real participation in this election process, And the Muhammad Halbusi, the former parliament speaker, has benefited from this episode, wants to come back strongly. That's why I predict a strong participation of Sunnis. Regarding the Kurdistan region, the participation will increase because compared to the previous elections. In the previous election, there was 72%, especially due to the race between the KDP and PUK. And this race made the election to be more a big contest, but especially in the next election there will be a big race to have a strong position in Baghdad. Uh, Dr. Mustafa, Ayash al-Kubaisi.
All of the Sunni powers together and unite them, as we have the Shiite powers. They formed the government, and until now this frame is still existing, and except for still there are changes in Anbar, for example, a Sunni area. Anbar is not only the province deciding about the Sunni situation. There are also changes in Sunni votes in Taqaddum party and other parties. So some people talk about that Sunni are in the weakest form of their history because they are not united. They are very divided, and this division, maybe some people think that it may benefit to let's say form the connection with Kurds. How do you assess this? Thanks for Rudao. Thanks for Bayan Institute, Bayan Center. The situation of Sunni is a little bit different, maybe because the Sunni house from 90s until now, until 2003, they were very united. And Kurdish community, they are very united. We know all about this. The Sunnis and their situation before 2003, it was just like a London conference. Now there is a situation that we have more than one election, and the Sunnis participated in, and they were talking about haram or halal, forbidden or allowed. So until now there wasn't a Sunni project to the face of after 2003. So that's why some Sunnis, they were not sure until two election cycles before now. Maybe some participants of ours, they got benefit from this. If we talk about the mood of Sunnis, they are a little bit better. They are concentrating on the identities from 2006 with Ayad Allawi. They formed a national project to have a new identity. Unfortunately, this project also didn't succeed. Until 2010, the Sunnis, they believed in the component of the Iraqis. So the Sunnis now, they need to focus on forming their own house. Now we are in a situation, in a phase that there is a conflict between Sunnis. For example, Ali Wardi talked about these. We have conflicts in Sunnis, in Shiites, and also in Kurdish, let's say, community. This is a signal that for Sunnis, in order not to partake, as Doctor said, 20% only people, 20% participated. I know, yes, if they don't participate in Baghdad, in Amriya, it was 13%. If we look at Sadr, it was 60%. Maybe in some other provinces, some Sunnis, they were, a little bit better. They have to decide whether they participate or not. The conflicts actually, they have consequences. So we talked about the sovereignty of Sunnis, even football, Ministry of Sports, Olympic also for one side. Even football is dragged into this. How can we convince Sunni voters after all of this fear to vote, to partake in elections? I am optimistic. As I talked about, there is a stability in Sunni community in the direction of politics. So Sunni community is very important. If there is an instability, let's say, in Anbar, it will affect all of the Iraq. If there is something wrong in Mosul, it will reflect on other provinces. As we see, the world is like a village and Iraq is like a house. So because I'm optimistic, because there is a new generation in Sunni leadership, and in the next election we'll see that with another opinion, they think in another way. They don't think as a political factor. As they see, Erbil is very beautiful, Sulaimani is beautiful, Baghdad is beautiful. We also would like to see other provinces to be beautiful like this. Thank you, Dr. Rafiq. As we see the process of election, you were the parliamentary member of Sadr fraction. We see that there are so many challenges in Iraq, technical challenges, especially about the election rules and challenges in politics. There is a concern that there are so many imbalances in politics. Also, there are so many concerns about community in the future. So in these 2 days of Erbil Forum, we talked about Iraq. There are so many concerns in the community that maybe in the future there will be a new gate for political process, but there are also other concerns. So in your opinion, despite Muqtada Sadr's call for the renewal of identity, or is it a boycott? Or is it an attempt to increase the voter votes that we have? We see that so many challenges are on the ground. Or is it only a challenge that faces every election? It's a very important question. This is a title for next election in 2025, so it will be different from the other 5 elections. There are so many challenges. Also, Dr. Mustafa said 20% turnout. I can see that this is also a proof there is people are not happy with the political system, even though it's only 22 years old, but it's still young. It needs building. So this is a responsibility how to build on it. As you talked about the rule of election, turning back to Sant Ligo in order to reduce from 1.7, this will be a factor, a bad factor, in order to let the independents to elect themselves. Also, it will block the other small parties and fractions. So people will participate less, and that will be a very bad impact. It will be an impact that it will make us to go back to 2009, that time that government got elected and election got, let's say, repeated again, and parliament shut down. Until now, in our opinion, there are so many foreign challenges. We talked about domestic challenges, but after 7th October of Lebanon, of Palestine, or also the fall of Assad in Syria, until now we don't know in what direction does it go. Especially 2 days ago there was an announcement. It's not encouraging. All of the parties are not participating in it. For example, Hasada didn't partake, and this is a very bad signal. We don't know what will happen to Syria. It will, for example, do America, Turkey, France work in it or not? Are they going to contribute or not? Is there a new system in Middle East or not? That's a very important issue that we are all thinking about. Until now, with the new administration of Trump, we need to oversee those, and we need to see if the election system in Iraq can continue like this or not. With Trump in America, there is a concern, not only on the level of the Middle East, also in the international level, because all of the things that he decided, that he did in international, for example, level, it's been 80 years since world wars. Until now, nothing like this happened. He demands Canada, Greenland, Panama. He wants Mexico Gulf. He says it's Gulf of America. He signs a lot of executive orders, especially about Ukraine. Maybe EU also is concerned about this, because there is a deal with Putin in order to deal with the war. This is also big concern. So the leadership of Iraq needs to think about this in order to integrate with all of the components, so that all of the people can see what's going on. About the file of politics, all of the eyes are on Hannan. So is it going to, let's say, return to the first point like in 2021, or are they going to return in an individual form? Maybe Maliki of Sadr party can see this. Sadr party, I will conclude in one sentence. So this Shiiti movement, those Sadris, from the beginning of the election until now, we have Shahid, the leader of Sadr. So he demanded that even the opposites, they are opposing the framework of Iraqi, and also a lot of Shiiti, they let down the Shiiti parties. In the second phase, they really talked about it, and they positioned themselves against of withdrawal, especially as we saw in Erbil. There was an attempt, for example, in Khur Abdullah in 2013. So many individuals were with us. Now, they were the only fraction that in Khur Abdullah, even the federal court talked about it. In 2018, things went more, because we didn't feel that the sides of Iraqi, they wanted to partake in a process. So again, in 2021, by forming a framework between the parties, the Iraqi parties went into another direction, and it was the country of components. That's why they didn't get the majority, even with the KDP, with Taqaddum. Still, we couldn't get the majority because of a federal court decision. We know that in Iraqi voting, let's say, elections, there should be majority. Mr. Sadr talked about that they should renew their cards, but until now, he didn't talk about if he wants to participate or not. I wanted to ask you this question.
Regarding the Iraqi election law, do you think that for this election will the Kurdish have any notes on the law? Are they believe or want to be, the election to be one constitution or different? All it's been said regarding this issue. Assessment of new election law in Iraq. This is the reflection now. Right now, all the political parties are talking, and they all agreed. And agreeing on a law is very difficult. Should be in interests of all people. We have to know that the Kurdish parties, Sadr movement, and the Sunni parties, they should have agree on a election law that should have any conflict in it. Most of them should agree on a law. It's true. It's clear that there's risks and there's threats, especially in the regarding the one constituency or different constituency, especially in the system. San Diego. Thank God, the election will get underway on time. On October or November. The important point is all the sides are ready for the elections. They want the election to happen and should take on time. Regarding your questions, was regarding the disputed regions. I believe in the disputed region, as it should be a partnership issue. Kurd is a main ally of Iraqi government and is one of the main player in establishing this government. Or 17, they had 17 person in establishing the government, and they were a big player in writing the new constitutions, and they had a big role in Baghdad. So they to have a true partnership and to have a strong partnership with Baghdad. And yesterday, Mr. Nechfan Barzani, Kurdistan president, talked about it, mentioned it. Regarding the issues with Baghdad, with the budget and the employees' salaries, this should be solved and should be talks for those issues. Dr. Mustafa, you talked about the alliance, the future. How we can understand how those alliances could be formed, how could it happen? Some of those Sunni political parties were against the request of Kurdish brothers in regard of ownership law. Is that will have an effect on the alliance? In 5 minutes, please. When Mr. Raed talked about and Dr. Hussein Sha'ban talked about and the conflict or the issues between the ethnic groups. Well, yeah, they're still true. We, as Sunni component of Iraq, we have three different lists, and there's still conflicts. Maybe 50% of those issues decrease. Maybe new fronts come up, or new establishment, new Sunni tribals come into the equation and participate in the election and get seats. The absence of Sunnis in the election process might cause to lose 20 seats in the parliament. That's why 70-80% of Sunnis are angry with the current political system or the governing system in Iraq. And so they should, the Iraqi Sunni political parties, they should work on it to have new faces, to have new representative, especially in the economy. We hope that the economy or the power of economy won't be imposed on other people or used as a weapon against other components. Sunnis might be the surprise of the election. Mr. Raed, I'm coming back to you. But there's always talks that after the election, there's a problem. Those problems in the election law, election political process. Will the left-wing parties continue in the election? We will participate in the election, and I want to talk about the point that my dear guest talked about. We, as the left-wing parties, civil parties, we work on civil society, civil government, civil state. This is those challenges that talked about. It's a challenge for state, challenge for the nation. They should, when we talk about any project, it should have all the national visions in it. Unfortunately, when they talked about their project, they talk about their own party project. They don't have a national party, a national project. They don't look at the Iraq as a national vision. Maybe that's in reality. That's not a nationalist or nationalist project. All the political parties, the only the thing interesting thing they want is to get votes. The election should be to serve the people and to have a healthy competition within the parties, within the just lip service for other people or for the election to get the vote. So if you talk about and as I hear yesterday from Iraqi Parliament, it looks like the situation will remain the same, and even the stability that we talk about currently, it's a limited stability. We have a more economic problem, but when we say we are ready for the election, we focus on solving the problems, and we should talk about should be a reform and real reform happen, but there's no will now. I don't see any will for reforms. We don't, and regarding the election law, we don't see a good international law. Thank you very much, Mr. Raed. If the Southern movement comes back, will we see Kurdish Southern coalition like 2021? If tell me in minutes. The principle for you cannot talk about alliance before saying are they participate or not. There's talks that Southern movement will participate. The challenge is they should have a role in the political process, and they should regard the current situation and the broader regional situation, and then then talk about the next collision. Thank you very much for all the views and different opinions. Hope to succeed for next time, to have a good time in the Urban Forum. Thank you very much.